Alrighty, how are we going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a little video that I just wanted to put together in reflection of the now come and gone pre-order beta for Mortal Kombat 1. In this video I intend to go over both what I subjectively liked and disliked about the beta, and what it brought to the table as a whole, as well as compare it to the previous server stress test that happened not too long ago, just to highlight the improvements that have already been implemented as a response to all the feedback that was given to NetherRealm. But before we do that, I'd like to encourage you to drop a like on this video, share it around to all your friends, and subscribe to stay involved for all things Mortal Kombat 1. Now, I won't be going into every character individually as to what they did and didn't do well, as I have a whole set of videos lined up and in the works for that. However, that does lead me into my first point, which is actually playing all the characters. Now, I personally am notoriously bad at expanding my rosters, as when I first played properly in Mortal Kombat X, I picked a small handful of characters and I didn't really expand beyond that, as I felt quite content with what they could do. But in Mortal Kombat 1, factoring in all the gameplay that we've been shown in the trailers and the combat casts, as well as my own hands-on experience, I'm personally really excited by the idea of trying out all the characters in the game. Just from the beta itself, I actually did play all 6 of the characters and play with all 4 of the cameos, which is a big thing. If you can really push that onto your players and just naturally encourage that, I think that's a win straight off the bat. Now, one of the reasons I did think that pushed this along was the cameos themselves. Now, I admit, when the game was announced and the cameos were merely a concept without any shown gameplay, it had me feeling skeptical, as I never really played tag towers or even used the assist consumables in Mortal Kombat X or at the 11 Towers of Time. But actually seeing it, playing it, and experiencing how seamlessly they integrated into fluid gameplay, and just how much they can expand upon a main roster's game plan, it is just astounding. Not only that, but the sheer diversity of game plans that will be possible on a single main roster character with all of the cameos available, let alone the whole cast of main roster cameos with the whole cast of main roster characters, with the whole cast of main roster cameos, is going to be just positively insane. We will truly be seeing the new heights of gameplay skills and possibilities come the full release of Mortal Kombat 1. Continuing on with the praises, the fact that the game is essentially built off what is the corpse of Injustice 3 does shine through, and not like in a bad way that we've seen before. Breakaways! Thank you. What I mean by that is that every character that we've seen seems to be built in somewhat of a specialized way unique to them. Every character is distinct and memorable for what they do and how they do it. Yes, there are character archetypes that they all still fall into in some capacity, but their method of approach to that archetype feels distinctly unique to the character that you're playing as, all amplified by the cameo that you choose to pair them with. It was something discernible in Injustice, with each character having their own specific trait, as it was called, that did unique things that only the character could do, and it often complemented their archetype's goal. Honorable mention for the Injustice Clash being our intro dialogue sequences now, but thank fuck we still have a dedicated block button. I hate back to block. For the beta, I was pleased to see that they did listen to community feedback and allow for us to do more things in the beta build that were frustrating players during the stress test, such as the ability to turn off release check. That was just fantastic. I didn't play the stress test personally, but I heard plenty of complaints, and you see a lot of players from previous stress tests just abilities being thrown out that they clearly didn't want to use, that were just not right for the situation they were doing it in. They also allowed us to rebind our buttons at will, which is actually a feature I utilized and I've never done in previous titles, which is excellent. As this was also a build showcased at EVO, we had the ability to use some of the highlighted features from that event, namely the down 2 or uppercut enhance that allowed you to spend 2 bars to follow up off of an uppercut, similar to the crushing blows in Mortal Kombat 11, where you could combo off of that. And it, with air combat in this game, it allows you to follow up with a partial to a full combo just off of getting a down 2, which is still nice, but it doesn't mean like in MK1, where you were basically guaranteed a combo off of that. You do have to follow up with that and know the combo. Although I didn't actually know how to do it, the game didn't tell me, or I didn't see it, and I didn't see it used once during my play. But it's there, so it was still a plus. A final quick praise about the beta is the in-game stability. I assumed all went well with the stress test, as I saw a lot less full crashes and lockups in the game, although not entirely lacking in them. And online matchups with people over 150 ping which was actually a majority of my matches, still felt pretty smooth all things considered. Now unfortunately these praises don't come without their counterparts, but I'm not going to be overly harsh as this was a beta, and the purpose of it all was for additional testing, bug fixes, and experimentation with the system's UI and overall experience. But there were some pretty notable issues. Firstly, a very prominent one for my matches in particular, whilst I never had a match crash out or lock up during the sets, what I often experienced was when a player selected next opponent or main menu after a fight, it had a rather high chance of soft locking my game and just giving me an idle image of the menu background, like when you're searching for a player, without any of the additional UI of searching for a player. No ability to leave, and it was just full soft locked. This meant I had to use the Xbox menu to actually quit out of the game and relaunch it every time that happened, which unfortunately was quite frequently. I'd say it was about 1 in 3. Another personal issue I found with this game was the actual smooth performance of the game, which in my case was not the reality. My game in particular felt very choppy, where a lot of inputs felt like they were being eaten by lost frames and chopped out frames and just wouldn't come out, causing me to be punished, or at least in a punishable state. Often first buttons of strings, or where I pressed a button for my cameo to call out, fell victim to this issue. But I do think it is a strong possibility that this might have just been on my end, as I've watched a lot of other content creators, and they seem to be having no issues, smooth 60 frame gameplay, and any error just comes down to user performance. So this could be a culmination of the fact that I'm running this off an Xbox Series S, through a capture card and into my device where I was also recording and or streaming it. So there could be some issues there on my part, but I'm not entirely sure. Hopefully upon the release of the game, if I'm still having that issue, I'll look into it a little bit more, but I don't want to hold that one entirely against NetherRealm. That could just be on my side. The last issue I have with the game as of the beta, and I'm almost assured of myself that this is rooted purely in the fact that it was a beta, is the tower AI. Now this won't affect everyone because there are some people that are like strictly online players, they just play this to play online. But for the people that play the story and play the tower AI religiously and relentlessly, the AI itself, it just felt so dang easy. Like, I'm no pro player. I would only say I'm slightly above average in terms of ability in this game. But for MKX and MK11, where I'd often struggle on the very hard towers, and I find I had to put in the work to progress from match to match, but the MK1's beta, it was just child's play. Like, from very easy to hard, the AI was very readable and very easily dispatched without much of a hassle. But there was a noticeable jump when you play the very hard towers, like you could see the difficulty pick up, but nowhere near the difficulty of previous titles, where, as I mentioned before, was just grueling to work through. But as I also mentioned before, I entirely expect this to be a consequence of this being a beta, and they haven't fully fleshed out their AI systems and how they want them to fight in their given difficulties. So I expect that to be changed upon release and just much more accurate. With all that said, my closing thoughts on the beta are that I thoroughly enjoyed the beta and what it brought to us, even with the inclusion of these minor issues that I expect NetherRealm will promptly iron out before release, and if not, hopefully just after. This game just oozes character and combo creativity, and will really push the boundaries of skill while still allowing for newer players to feel like they're having an awesome time and pulling off flashy and cool stuff in the game. And the story, God, I'm so excited for this. I can't wait to see where the new era in NetherRealm takes us and how they will reshape the tellings of Mortal Kombat history in a new light with both new and familiar faces. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap from me. I hope you guys enjoyed and got some feel of sentiment from an average player playing through the beta and how it was expressed out. If you have any thoughts on the beta from what you didn't already hear from me, I highly encourage you to drop down to the comment section and let me know and others know below. With that, I hope you all have a good night or day wherever you're from. Be good people, and I will see you in the next one.